All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Late Night Raiders Talk. We're less than 3 weeks away from the NFL draft, folks, and the Las Vegas Raiders have a really nice orchestrated roster. They have a great management staff with Tom Telesco coming into the building, officially hiring Antonio Pierce as your head coach, picking up Luke Getsy as your offensive coordinator. Patrick Graham comes back on the defensive side of things. In my opinion, folks, the Raiders are one of these just severely slept on teams, and they have the 13th pick in this year's first round of the draft. And a lot of people are wondering, are they going to trade up for a quarterback? It looks kind of like Jaden Daniels is off of the table. Washington doesn't really like the offers they're getting. But New England could not take a quarterback. They could trade up to number 4 and take J.J. McCarthy. They could stand pat with Michael Penix at 13. They could draft somebody at 13 and then, make a trade up for Penix later on in the first round, early second round. There's a multitude of different options here. And I just genuinely like the Raiders' current place. I love their roster. I love their management. I love the coaches that they have put in place here. And I'm just excited for the Las Vegas Raiders' upcoming season. But I mainly want to talk about the quarterback position, and I'll explain to you why in just a second. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Raiders fans, I love you guys as always. Let's try and get this video to 250 likes. That would mean the world to me. So, I'm in the camp of I like Aiden O'Connell a lot. I like Gardner Minshew, kind of just something to keep in my back pocket, deploy if needed. But a part of me loves the idea of trading up for Jaden Daniels. I just don't think Jaden's up for... I just don't think it's all that realistic. So one of the reasons I'm making this video here is I saw a tweet here. Somebody named Mina Kimes on Twitter posted a video on why her favorite fit for Michael Penix Jr. is the Las Vegas Raiders. And then somebody quote tweeted it, Jordan Reed, saying, I agree, taking a tackle at 13 to pair with Colton Miller and then trading back up for Penix makes a lot of sense for the Raiders. But then at the same time, you're like, all right, well, if Penix is the guy and you believe he's the guy, the future Raiders quarterback, why would you take an offensive tackle at pick number 13 and just hope somebody doesn't select Penix? It's a quarterback-heavy draft class, and before we get into the Penix, before we get into pick 13 talks, I want to go through a mock trade that I just read on, I think, CBS Sports. So in this hypothetical mock trade, the Arizona Cardinals receive the 13th pick overall, the 44th pick overall, future picks, not sure what that entails, and a player. And they put possibly edge Kyrie Wilson. Kyrie Wilson. Raiders fans, is Kyrie Wilson a player? I don't really think he's a player. I think they meant Tyree Wilson. I'm all set on that trade hypothetical, by the way. But the point was neither here nor there, whatever the package would be, because they're not trading away Tyree Wilson or Sorry, guys, it's Friday night. They can take edge rusher Kyrie Wilson if they want. Maybe I'm just redacted, but I'm not sure who that player is. Let me click on this link here. Oh, he's a player. So rookie out of Fresno State, but he's 31. All right, whatever. Anyways, the whole hypothetical was that the Raiders trade up for a quarterback in J.J. McCarthy. Folks, I just want to say this right here, right now. Once again, I think Aiden O'Connell can play. We know he can play, actually. He took down the Chiefs on Christmas Day. They put up 63 on the Chargers. They won the season finale against the Denver Broncos. Aiden O'Connell didn't get a fair start, obviously being Jimmy Garoppolo and Josh McDaniels in the first half of the season. I want my Raiders fans watching this video to know right here, right now, I am 100% fine if they decide to go with Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, and then a quarterback, and because they only have 2 on the roster, 5th or 6th round or whatever, right? I'm perfectly fine with that. Aiden O'Connell, 8 total touchdowns, 0 interceptions in the final month of the regular season. I like what he has. I would love a little bit more mobility. But at the end of the day, when we are talking QBs, if Jaden Daniels and Drake May are off the table, would I rather have J.J. McCarthy or Michael Penix? I'll keep it a buck with you guys. I would rather have J.J. McCarthy. I think J.J. fits Luke Getsy. I think he would pair well with Devontae Adams. I think he'd pair well with Jacoby Myers. And I think JJ's pretty NFL ready. Now, with that being said, I also believe Michael Penix Jr. is NFL ready. A lot of people have injury concerns. A lot of people have just like Penix played 6 years of college football, right? Indiana was never, and in my entire life has never been a good college football team. So I'm not looking into Penix's tenure with Indiana, just like I'm not looking into Jaden Daniels' tenure with Arizona State. The last 2 years, Michael Penix Jr. has been cream of the crop, one of the best QBs in college football. He took Washington University, the Huskies, to the college championship, where they lost to J.J. McCarthy in Michigan. I really like the idea of taking a flyer and drafting the QB. JJ McCarthy, if they were to make that trade, I would actually be super surprised. But I think Penix is way more likely. And just the thing with like, oh, if Penix is your guy, why would you take an offensive tackle pick 13 and then trade up for him or take him in the second round? There are QBs who fall past the top 10 every single draft that end up being better than some top 10 draft picks. I think Penix or even Bo Nix, the other hypothetical trade was the Raiders get the 24th pick where they select Bo Nix. They also get a second round pick and they get a fifth round pick, but they only give up their selection at 13. Bo Nix doesn't get me going as much as Michael Penix does, but the point with like a guy like Bo Nix or Michael Penix, what I like is this. I don't think Gardner Minshew should be the starting quarterback for the Raiders next season, because even if you draft Penix or if you just, draft a late flyer, Rattler or Jordan Travis or whatever, that means Aiden O'Connell isn't the guy. And if they're signing this veteran QB to a lot of guaranteed money, i.e. Gardner Minshew, do they fully believe that AOC is the guy? You know what I'm saying? But neither here nor there. My point is, I really like the idea of selecting Michael Penix Jr., especially in the late first / early second, because what I think it would do, I think it would negate Gardner Minshew. I think Gardner Minshew would just kind of be set as like a veteran mentor, right? You run it with Aiden O'Connell, ideally, in year one. And if Aiden isn't the dude, well, then you transition into either Gardner Minshew if Penix isn't ready or Michael Penix straight out of the gate. My point is, at the end of the day, the Raiders have a bunch of options, and they don't have too many pressing holes. Obviously, they have holes, they have needs, right tackle, tackle in general, or right tackle to be specific. You could use another cornerback. You could use potentially a QB. Like, they could use a couple of pieces, but at the end of the day, the Raiders on paper are really solid. And I'm just excited to see what Telesco and Pierce decide to do in this year's NFL draft. So that's it for today. Just kind of a random Friday rant. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, and we will see you next time. But let me know, what are you doing at pick 13? Peace.